We are just minutes away from a historic moment in space exploration, the first crewed mission into deep space in more than 50 years.
Among those taking part, Canadian Jeremy Hansen, the London, Ontario native, and 3 other astronauts will spend the next 10 days on a 2-million-kilometer journey that will take them around the far side of the moon and back. Good evening. The astronauts are on board the Orion capsule. That capsule is attached to a powerful rocket that is ready for launch, and the launch window opens in just over 20 minutes.
Yes, within the hour, if all goes to plan, the moon mission could lift off, propelling space exploration into the future, a moment that will have people around the world looking skyward tonight. And here at home, excitement is building. CTV's Beth McDonnell is live at one of the many launch parties planned. Beth joining us from the U of T campus.
You got it, Michelle. The room is starting to get full. Excitement is building. There's a lot planned tonight, of course, to watch the launch at 6:24 p.m. That's the main goal, but there are games. There is a trivia experience planned. There are crafts. There are decorations. And so this is really being turned into a whole night, a bit of an extravaganza, because this hasn't happened in about half a century. And so this is really meaningful to the science community and the GTA at large. We spent a big part of the day with some young minds who have been working on the technology to get to this point. And so it's been so fascinating. One of the young people I'm with here tonight, that very excited, 13-year-old Celine, what brought you out tonight?
Yeah, I'm a person who's really loves science. I like physics, I like chemistry, but I really love astrophysics and this field in general. So when I heard about the Artemis II launch, I got really passionate because there was so many steps to get here, and I wanted to learn more and connect with people who are also passionate.
So many things need to go just right for this launch. What are you hoping for tonight? What are you watching for?
Well, I'm watching for the launch to succeed, and maybe, but there's going to be many steps afterward because the shuttle has to go around the Earth and even around the moon. So for the next 10 days, it's going to be a little tense too for me. So,
are you going to go to space one day? What do you think?
I'm not too sure, but I think I'm the kind of person who likes working with mechanical engineering. I really like computer science too. So maybe I could be one of the people working on a space shuttle, building it.
Okay, thank you so much, Celine. And Michelle, Nathan, to make this watch party a reality, a lot of people had to come together. This is being organized by Let's Talk Science. That's a nonprofit, U of T, of course, and also a pair of young women. They're known as the STEAM Sisters, and they are a science communication group. So this wasn't just, one person putting out an email or anything like that. That's really a big effort to come together that, for a launch that really means so much to the science community and the next generation, really.
TV's Beth McDonnell live for us at a watch party at U of T. We'll check back with you. Certainly big planning for a big moment, and it has been a busy day for the 4 astronauts who are now on board the rocket. They are locked in, preparing for launch.
Jeremy Hansen released a message to Canadians before boarding and got a message from the King. CTV's Mike Walker reports.
A historic moment as NASA prepares to send astronauts back to the moon for the first time in 50 years as part of the Artemis II mission. Among the crew of 4 is Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, who shared this message to Canadians.
Canada, I am thinking of you, and I am hoping that all of you see your greatness reflected in this journey around the moon. I'm just so proud of all of you.
Now that launch window opens at 6:24 p.m.
The rocket fueling up this morning ahead of the anticipated launch.
We now have a shot of all 4 astronauts,
while the crew perform their final suits and medical checks before heading out to the launch pad. While large crowds gathered in Cape Canaveral, Florida, some waiting days to catch a glimpse of the historic moon mission.
To be able to witness it in person, to see something that we've only witnessed in documentaries, especially for my generation, is kind of magical.
NASA has planned a 10-day mission flying by the far side of the moon, testing the Orion capsule and going further into deep space than ever before.
Jeremy's waited a long time. He's trained so hard for this. I mean, he's doing he's doing incredible things, and he's trying all kinds of new pieces of technology on this flight that none of us who've flown in space before has ever tried, ever seen.
If the mission is a success, Hansen will become the first Canadian to leave low Earth orbit.
This is a big step forward for Canada as a major spacefaring nation.
Retired Canadian astronaut Dave Williams served as a mission specialist on 2 space shuttle missions. He describes the launch as a remarkable moment for the country.
Canada was the 3rd country in the world to send satellites into space. We're now the 2nd country in the world to send humans to the moon.
King Charles sent his best wishes to Hansen, saying in part, "It's with immense pride and a profound sense of shared purpose that I write to you as you prepare to embark upon the Artemis II mission. As the first Canadian to venture to the moon, you carry not only the hopes of your fellow Canadians and the Commonwealth, but also the aspirations of humanity itself." Mike Walker, CTV News.
And so much of today's launch centers around the weather over there in Florida. If the weather's not nice, the launch doesn't go ahead. Certainly much warmer over there than it is here in Toronto today, and a lot sunnier, too. Looking at a lot of cloud cover as we peek at the Toronto skyline this hour. Lindsay Morrison joins us. Lindsay.
Yeah, you know, Michelle, we were hoping some of that cloud cover would break up today here in Toronto. We've also been watching the clouds, of course, in Florida. What we don't need are cumulus clouds that could end up developing lightning strikes. But right now over Cape Canaveral, it's looking pretty good. 23 degrees with a sun-cloud mix, onshore winds out of the east. And this is a look at launch time. So I think this looks pretty good. But of course, there are a lot of factors at play when it comes to this launch being able to happen and it being successful. We've got the cloud here in Toronto. We've had some showers along the north shore of Lake Erie. We've got some showers in Niagara right now. 4 degrees is where we stand at this time. That's as warm as it's been all day long, thanks in part to some northeasterly winds that have been a little bit breezy. Tonight, we see the temperature fall back to about +1, and then overnight tonight, near freezing. Tomorrow, we get back into showers, the risk of thunderstorms and fog, but we're also talking about a big warm-up into the Easter long weekend, so we'll talk about that. And of course, again, all eyes on Cape Canaveral, Florida, and the weather there. But for now, Nathan and Michelle, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Yes, 17 minutes, 4 seconds till that launch window opens this hour. And a lot of people have been getting ready all day to take in what is a historic moment.
No question, definitely a team effort as well. CTV's Beth McDonnell has that story.
The joints have the same design and way of moving as the arm that will be on Artemis.
So much brain power, knowledge, and expertise has come together for the Artemis program, and some of it is right here in the GTA.
It's very exciting for me because this will pave the way for my future and a bunch of other Canadians that are in the industry.
Elodisha, Stefan Visconti, and Mary McPhee are 3 engineers in their 20s working out of the Dreamer Lab inside Brampton's high-tech offices in Brampton. Today's launch for Artemis II is a big moment for the team, knowing their work has contributed to the history of the mission.
We already see all the crazy experiments and benefits to humanity that we're getting with the International Space Station, and now we get to see that continue to the moon and hopefully to Mars someday.
London, Ontario's Jeremy Hansen on board the rocket is creating another reason to celebrate.
I'm just so excited to see the launch. It's been a long time coming, and just very excited to see a Canadian get to go, the first Canadian outside of Earth orbit.
I think we're just also proud and excited for him. Canada has long been an important part of the world space program, both with robotics and with astronauts.
These engineers are experts who work on the ground and help manage robotics up in space. They're knowledgeable about the Canadian innovations, the Canadarm and Dexter, and help prepare astronauts for space.
I'm about to experience what it's like leaving Earth's atmosphere with this virtual reality program. It helps train astronauts on how to move through space and operate robotics. Absolute wow.
Over at Mark Garneau Collegiate Institute in North York, there is also a lot of excitement where students are learning about the launch.
This is like making history. It's the first time we've been going back into space after 54 years, and we're just trying to make sure that everyone else is encouraged by it and also just excited.
I think the fact that there's a Canadian involved in it is like crazy because Canadians never really went to the moon before.
This definitely inspires me, like especially the Canadian astronauts going to space. Definitely inspires me into going into more scientific fields.
A big launch that means a lot to the GTA community.
And we will continue our launch coverage a little bit later in the newscast. But for now, closing arguments continue today at the trial of Frank Stronach, the billionaire businessman facing a number of charges of sexual assault.
However, it appears the number of charges has again dropped after remarks by the judge this morning. Our Allison Hurst has been covering this high-profile trial. Joins us live now outside the courthouse with the latest details. What happened, Allison?
Michelle, this happened this morning just before the Crown continued with their closing arguments. Justice Malloy came into the courtroom and addressed the court, saying she could not convict Frank Stronach on charges related to one of the complainants. Billionaire Frank Stronach walks into court expecting to hear the rest of the Crown's closing remarks in his sexual assault trial. But before prosecutors begin, Ontario Superior Court Justice Anne Malloy told the court, based on the first complainant's evidence, she couldn't possibly convict, calling her unreliable. 2 charges were linked to this complainant: rape and indecent assault. She alleged she was sexually assaulted on her 21st birthday by the auto tycoon on the dance floor of his club Rooney's, also in a booth, and then later raped at his harbourfront condo. Defense lawyer Leora Shemish argued upon learning there was proof Stronach was out of the country during that time, she changed the timing to say it may have been 1981. Malloy pressed Crown prosecutor Yelena Vlasic on this complainant at length during her closing statements yesterday, calling the shifting of years and reasons troubling. When this case began, Stronach was facing 12 charges from 7 different women. During the trial, the Crown conceded it would not be seeking conviction on 5 of them related to 3 women. Shemish wants a not guilty verdict on those charges. Without this complainant, Stronach now faces 5 charges from 3 women. The Crown also addressed Shemish's claims the investigating officers suffered tunnel vision and failed to look into the women's claims. Vlasic says, "I do firmly disagree with that," pointing to the interviews done with a number of defense witnesses and how they went to the Harbourfront Castle. The officers testified they'd gone to the hotel and spoken to people there. On this, Malloy points out it was bizarre to her they were looking in the wrong building. During her reply today, Shemish says to suggest that there was an investigation, maybe it wasn't the best one, is really to do an injustice what was done in this case. In regards to Shemish pointing out the final complainant had lied under oath about when she'd spoken to a lawyer, Vlasic said she was honest about believing it was privileged. In her reply, Shemish said it was a perjured testimony. She also challenged the prosecution's closing on the other 2 complainants, saying there's no criminal culpability for complainant number 2, who claimed she was groped by Stronach when he put her coat on, adding the woman testified he likely didn't know how she was feeling at the time, and when she said no, he stopped. On complainant number 3, who claimed she was bent over an armchair at an apartment in Midtown for 2 or 3 minutes without looking back, in her reply, Shemish said, "It's quite simply absurd. It's just not possible." Stronach has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Mr. Stronach, how are you feeling? The defense has previously said that it would seek a stay of proceedings over alleged abuse of process. It has now said that it wants Justice Malloy to consider it in weighing the case. A motion is expected to be heard next week. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. York Regional Police are deploying more officers near places of worship and community centers as Jewish members of the community observe Passover. Police will also be stationed outside Promenade Mall on multiple days, including this Friday. York Regional Police say officers will be proactively monitoring the community to prevent hate-motivated activity. Officers on patrol will be available to answer questions, take reports, and address any concerns from residents.
Really, what we want everyone to do is understand that we are here to have a police presence. You are going to see additional patrols in your neighborhoods. You're going to see additional officers in cars, and you're going to have these fixed command posts at the locations over, again, until April 9th. This could be extended if there is a need for it, but right now we're anticipating a fantastic Passover that doesn't have any issues.
Toronto police are also stepping up patrols this week. On social media, the service posted a list of locations where more officers will be stationed during Passover and are encouraging community members to stop by the rotating patrols with any questions or concerns. A rally was held outside the office of Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health this afternoon.
Demonstrators were protesting the closure of supervised consumption sites that the province is replacing with facilities called heart hubs. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Daisy! Protesters shouting the names of the dead.
And I want you to think of my friend Ryan, who was one of my colleagues who died alone
on Thanksgiving weekend.
Others lying down, their bodies traced in chalk to symbolize the people who have died from overdoses.
We all know so many people who have died.
A grim number that may get worse this coming year with the closure of more supervised consumption sites, according to street nurse Emily McMillan.
I'm seeing people die. It's actually quite heartbreaking to know that supervised consumption sites do save lives. A handful of people that have died since the closures that I believe would have still been here if our sites were still open.
The rally here is timed to be about a year after 14 supervised consumption sites across Ontario were slated for closure, with several more expected to be closed on June 13th. Numbers from researchers released last week indicated paramedic calls and ER visits are up, and early numbers said deaths could be as well.
We are going to see more deaths. We are going to see more suffering.
I'm not going to sit back as you put these injection sites in the middle of communities.
Last week, the Ford government reiterated its support for converting those sites to heart hubs, which offer referrals to treatment but no harm reduction. This rally outside the office of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore.
Why is the Chief Medical Officer of Health winding down essential services that save people's lives?
Ontario's Ministry of Health didn't make more available, but said in a statement, instead of giving people tools to use harmful illegal drugs, our government is helping people break the tragic cycle of drug addiction by making record investments in more mental health and wraparound supports, and saying opioid fatalities are down 45% between 2024 and 2025, appearing to bet the numbers will turn around. The people here don't want to risk lives to find out. John Woodward, CTV News.
All right, we're going to go live to Florida as the clock ticks toward the potential launch time. CTV's Heather Wright is live near the launch site. Heather, let's start with the mood there. History about to be made. How exciting is this?
It's very exciting, Nathan. And there's been a little bit of anxiety here because NASA was dealing with two separate issues with the spacecraft. One had to do with the termination system that would be used in the case of an abortion, that they had to get the Orion capsule from the rocket and then safely explode that rocket so it wouldn't hit a populated area. So that issue has been resolved. Then after that resolve came up, a second issue with a battery came up as well. That issue has also been resolved. So they're going through their final checks. They're finding these issues. As we've been told many times, delays are not a bad thing. Delays are a good thing as they try to make sure that this crew is ready and that they are in a safe rocket ship that is going to take them up to outer space. Now, you mentioned that countdown clock. It has been intentionally paused here as they work through those issues. But so far, so good is what we're hearing from NASA officials. So we're waiting to find out when the clock is going to start running again and whether this will be a go for launch.
And how far away are you from Artemis II? Obviously, your safety is a concern. I'm sure it's going to be noisy as well. What are they telling you?
We're about 5 kilometers from the launch pad, so we're quite a distance away. But to give you some perspective, we were here on Monday and a SpaceX rocket lifted off from a different area here on the compound. And it was extremely noisy, extremely loud. You really felt the ground shift in many respects when that took off. And this rocket is exceptionally more powerful than the SpaceX rocket. This is the most powerful rocket that has ever been created. So we are expecting quite a show, quite a noisy show, if and when liftoff does take place today.
And of course, you've got about a 2-hour window, right?
Well, and that's the good news. As these issues cropped up, the countdown clock did keep running for a while. It stopped at 10 minutes here. So that is the good news with this 2-hour window, that it does give the crews and all the technical people that are working on the spacecraft time to troubleshoot and resolve these issues. And, you know, that's what they've been spending the entire day doing, is going through this meticulous checklist. Keep in mind, everything happens in a specific order. And we spoke with one of the Canadian Space Agency's astronauts yesterday who said really there's a million things on this spacecraft that need to go right in order to have a successful launch. They've been going through that checklist today, hour after hour, second after second, making sure everything is all good to go. They are sealed inside the Orion capsule now, so we are waiting for the next moves from NASA as we wait for this launch window here in Florida to open.
open.
Yeah, all waiting with anticipation. CTV's Heather Wright live in Florida at the launch site. Nice talking.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you. And coming up, the countdown is on. NASA's Artemis II rocket is ready. The astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, are locked in. Launch time is minutes away. This is a live look at the launch pad in Florida, where a new chapter in space history is about to be written.
I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, the conflict in the Middle East has caused the price of jet fuel to double, and many airlines are now raising ticket prices. Travel agencies say if you're planning a summer holiday, expect to pay more. I'll have the details. That's just ahead.
We have said goodbye to the month of March, and it was a rainy one in the end. A lot of this rain, in fact, about 30 millimeters in Toronto, falling yesterday alone. Now, as we make our way into April, I do want to remind you that on average, we usually do pick up a few centimeters of snow. That's not what we're worried about in the short range. Some rain is returning, and perhaps some freezing rain. It's a very active weather pattern. We're going to take you through the long weekend forecast when CTV News returns. Stay with us.
We are potentially minutes away from the opening of the launch window for the Artemis II mission, which will take humans around the moon.
It's also the first time a Canadian astronaut will take part in a lunar mission. And there are many excited people gathering at the Canadian Space Agency in Longueuil, Quebec for a watch party. Among them, CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin, and we're hearing applause in the background. Hey, Geneviève.
Well, there's quite a bit of nervous energy. I actually can't speak all that loud because people are gathered here, and I can tell you they are watching intently the screen. It seems as though everyone here is just holding their breath. There has been this nervous energy all afternoon. These are colleagues who know Jeremy Hansen, many of them, and who have worked with him. And so they're watching both as people who know him, who have watched him train for all those years, and also people who are, many of them, very much experts in this area. So they have been watching that happens. We have astronaut David Stronach here, who has been talking to the crowd, who has been explaining all the final steps here. He's been talking about his own experience. Of course, he went up in space in 2018. He went to the International Space Station, and he's talking about the fact that he believes that at this moment that Jeremy Hansen is just really in the zone. He's locked in. He's thinking perhaps about his family, perhaps about the historic moment, but really just focusing on that particular moment as the final checks are in place. He's also talking about the fact that there could be delays, there could be moments that happen that we've been seeing for the last few minutes because, of course, he says it's the job of about 1,000 people to watch and to find problems. That's all they're devoted to at this particular moment. And so certainly there are going to be all those checks. But as I say, people here have just been holding their breath and waiting to see how this will unfold. There was this moment, kind of funny moment a little bit ago where David Stronach just went, oof, because just to break a little bit of the tension in the room here, Nathan.
CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin at that watch party at the Canadian Space Agency in Quebec. Thank you.
That 2-hour launch window has opened 6:24, but no sign yet that this rocket is taking off. So we'll get to some other news, but we'll continue to monitor it for sure. Many of us are noticing perhaps higher costs of a fill up at the gas pump, and rising fuel prices will also make spring and summer travel just more expensive.
As the war continues in the Middle East, the travel sector is warning holiday plans are about to cost you a lot more. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert.
Jet fuel costs have doubled, and that means many airlines are starting to include fuel surcharges on airline tickets. Flight paths are being diverted or dropped, which is also putting pressure on ticket prices. If you've been thinking about taking an airline trip this spring or summer but haven't bought tickets yet, the Flight Center says get ready to pay more.
We have seen rising jet fuel prices driving up costs for airfare. So this will now impact Canadians.
There could be a separate line for a fuel surcharge, or it may just be a more expensive ticket. Airlines are also rerouting planes away from the conflict in the Middle East. And for some international flights, that will add hundreds of dollars per ticket.
So instead of a $1,600 flight, over the Middle East through to the Philippines, you're now going to be paying around $2,000. So this is also adding to the pressures of airfare prices right now.
Some cruise ships have also started raising their prices.
I do expect a domino effect. I'm sure all the major cruise lines, including the small river boats, they will start to introduce fuel surcharges real soon.
For Canadians who have already made their summer travel plans, there's been a major increase in bookings to Portugal, the Netherlands, Italy, and Japan. Some travelers are also looking for more budget-friendly locations.
That could be South America. It can also be Central America, Panama, Belize. I personally am looking at Mexico.
Canadians are still avoiding U.S. travel, citing the political climate, border hassles, safety security concerns, and the exchange rate. There has been an increase in domestic bookings, especially in Atlantic Canada and Alberta. If the conflict continues, expect travel costs to remain high.
As long as the situation is uncertain in the Middle East, we do not anticipate that airfare prices will be decreasing.
To save money, you can travel in the shoulder seasons and keep your travel dates and locations flexible. But with other rising costs, the only option for some may be putting off travel and staying home. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, eyes on the sky here and more so in Florida. The launch about 7 minutes away. We are getting very close.
We've noticed, and this is a live shot in Florida, they're moving some of the equipment around the rocket, so it's looking like all systems are go. All day we've been wondering, is it actually going to happen? Might they scrub it? The weather's been a big factor, but it's looking stellar right now.
I mean, look at that blue sky. Can you ask for much more if you are a forecaster, especially at NASA right now? There's a lot that has to go right for one of these missions to launch, and the weather is a big thing that has to go right. And again, we've been keeping a close eye on conditions in Florida. Beautiful blue sky right now. Been watching for some easterly winds. Here's what it looked like here at home a little earlier today, though. We had a whole lot of cloud cover. Conditions would not have been ideal here today, and I was hopeful that some of this cloud was going to break up this afternoon. That didn't happen all that much, and as a result, it also inhibited our warm-up. So yeah, our temperature right now in Toronto is as warm as it got all day long, once again below seasonal. But here's one more look at the current conditions in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Again, the sun is shining. We've got partly cloudy skies in parts of Florida. 23 degrees is the expected temperature around lunchtime, if that's going to happen soon. We're crossing our fingers. Bringing it back a little closer to home, there have been showers and a little bit of mixed precip today, just along the northern shoreline of Lake Erie. Otherwise, it's been mostly cloudy. You had some nice clearing in Muskoka. Hope you enjoyed that, because there's a whole lot of rain on the way for that part of our province, and some snow for northern sections of Ontario, mixing possible to freezing rain. And here in southern Ontario, we are bracing for more rounds of showers and thunderstorms too, maybe some periods of fog as well. Tomorrow's rain about 5 millimeters here in Toronto, and then as we continue into the day on Saturday, might pick up an additional 5 to 10 depending on where you are. Here's our forecast radar. So I just want to show you that the wet weather gets going late morning, midday. We could even see a bit of freezing rain, mainly for the north end of the GTA. Closer you are to Lake Ontario, more likely that this is simply going to be rainfall. So again, middle of the day, by the evening, that has moved out. Overnight and into Friday, it looks like we're going to get into more in the way of active weather. Waking up Friday morning, perhaps a few thunderstorms as well. There is a rainfall warning in place for communities east of Georgian Bay, with 30 to 50 millimeters of rain going to be possible. Here's Friday afternoon, and what I want to point out is the fact that in the afternoon, we expect some clearing in many areas. So if we can get some sun, that's going to make it a pretty nice pocket of time in the long weekend, because yep, you guessed it, more wet weather is going to move in for Saturday and possibly Sunday too. We're at +4 degrees right now. We are looking at an overnight low of 0, which is near normal, but we don't really like to experience temperatures near the freezing mark at this time of year. Tomorrow, at a glance, +4. That's cooler than normal. 9 degrees is where we expect to be now this time of year. How about Friday, though? Temperature near 20 degrees, maybe even 21. Saturday is still mild but unsettled, 12 degrees. Sunday, we're going to start to clear out the showers and the cloud, 6 for the high, and then look at the sunshine for early next week. But notice the temperatures below seasonal during the day and perhaps below freezing at times at night. That's your look at the weather. Stay with us. CTV News. We'll be right back.
This is it. It appears all systems are go.
Let's listen to the experts at NASA TV as they walk us through the launch of Artemis II, the mission to the moon.
Sound
Canadian
suppression water is
Jeremy
flowing.
Hansen on board.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch. Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high. AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate MECO. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour. Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon. Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon. Have you the same.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. One minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready. Copy all, Stan. Integrity, SM priming complete. SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation. 3 minutes into the flight. Integrity, 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour. Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view. Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02. We see the same on board, Stan. And Houston has you loud and clear on TDRS at the Carmen line. Outstanding, Stan, we have you the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight dynamics officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
All right, we're listening to Mission Control. The 10-day journey has begun, the launch successful. And, you know, when you're hearing things like good performance and integrity good, that just feels so good. It's so exciting to watch history happening in our own eyes.
There has been such a buildup to this moment, and to see the empty launch pad behind us, the rocket now in space, embarking on this epic mission that will take them around Earth and around the far side of the moon, potentially breaking records for distance, for speed. And there is a Canadian astronaut, Jeremy Hansen, who's part of that 4-person crew who is breaking history as well as the first Canadian astronaut to head to the moon and to head into deep space.
Yeah, it's incredible. History made, of course. This is like record-breaking, the distance that they're going. And you heard the applause there, and I'm sure that there was applause here as well and around the world. Plenty of people on Earth watching this historic launch.
Yes, a number of watch parties across the GTA, including at the University of Toronto. That is where we find our Beth McDonnell. What's the reaction there? We're feeling goosebumps here.
For sure, a lot of goosebumps here on pins and needles, really. It was very quiet until we had the countdown. Everybody joined in, countdown together, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it went up. There was a loud applause. How's everybody feeling? Yeah! And that's just one of several applauses we've had since this rocket went up. Incredible to feel the energy with this crowd here at the University of Toronto, all thanks to its organizers, 2 of which are standing with me right now. Cynthia and Swapna, thank you so much. How did you feel to watch that?
That was incredible. It was amazing. It was a historic moment. And also April Fools, we switched spots. I'm Sandhya, she's Swapna. And we're so grateful to be here today organizing this with Let's Talk Science at the University of Toronto, the STEAM Sisters, as well as Milando Lala. And with all of these people here today, it's been an incredible experience.
The energy has been astronomical.
Over the moon with excitement.
And it was such an incredible moment. And what we're doing here today is also a little bit of activities that are interactive to learn about the science behind why we're doing all of this. And it's been a great experience. Just continuing now.
This is happening in Florida, but we know Canadians. A Canadian is on that rocket. Canadians have participated in the science and technology that's a part of this mission, and also people are, feeling the impact. This is not just a rocket going up in space. It actually means something to the people here from various generations. What does it mean to have this mission going forward for people coming up in various space industries?
It's inspiring, and this is an incredible opportunity to go beyond what we've ever seen before, and this is really a really cool opportunity for people to come together, as we did here in this room today and all across the country.
But it's also so important for our country because Canada is a superstar in the space sciences. For a long time we've been contributing. The Canadarm is one example, but Jeremy Hansen is a Canadian astronaut on that rocket right now, and Dr. Jenny Sidey-Gibbons is going to be the voice between Earth and the astronauts out there. And personally, I'd like to become an astronaut, so this is very cool for me too.
Okay, well, great job on the watch party. Thank you for making it a reality. And yeah, according to this crowd, this launch went off without a hitch. Back to you, Michelle and Nathan.
So much fun to watch, so much fun to see. Thanks so much, Beth. Also tonight, optimizing work-life balance for nurses by using AI. We examine the digital tool implemented at Credit Valley's emergency department and how it's enhancing patient care. On the markets, the Canadian dollar is down, closing at $72.01. Western Canadian Select Oil is down over $3 to $80.14. And the TSX gained another 189 points today, closing at just under 33,000.
There is anger over the province's decision to end an international languages program at the Toronto Catholic District School Board.
CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the details.
It's really devastating for the staff, for the families, for my child. I don't know. Where do we go from here?
It's a feeling shared by thousands of parents with Toronto's Catholic School Board. Last week, the provincially appointed supervisor announced an end to the International Languages program. The Minister of Education says this gets Toronto Catholic in line with the rest of Ontario, with language instruction bumped to Saturdays.
They don't seem to have taken into account the impact on students and families and the educators who support them every day.
77 educators in Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Mandarin, and other languages will be out of work this fall.
These programs build cultural understanding. They create community. They help students see themselves and each other in a richer, more connected way.
Advocates see the cancellation as misguided, short-sighted.
It just makes our next generation that much more accomplished and that much more prepared for what is to come.
Melinda Gutierrez Rodriguez is able to speak Spanish with her Ecuadorian grandparents at home because of what she learned at school. Her 9-year-old sister, though,
it's very hard for, I think, children now to be able to connect with their roots and stuff, because now, like, where are they going to go to learn if they're not learning at home?
Her mom doesn't think weekend language lessons make sense when kids already spend most of their time in class.
Let's be real. I'm working, families are working, and if they can get those 30 minutes or whatever the case is per school, it's so important.
3 Byzantine Eastern Catholic Rite schools in Etobicoke will keep Ukrainian language instruction during this school day, but they too have lost their funding. Families will pay $650 annually to keep the program alive.
It's a denominational issue, but included in that is the fact that we obviously welcomed a lot of Ukrainians who were fleeing the war in their country. We have a responsibility to continue to help them.
At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A new competition at Trillium Health Partners aimed at finding ways artificial intelligence can help improve health care has chosen the ER as the winner.
As CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, they plan to use AI to cut time spent on scheduling from hours down to minutes.
Registered nurse Jackie Rodricks is the clinical manager of the emergency department at Credit Valley Hospital. And right now she spends hours planning the nursing schedules, more if someone calls in sick or demand jumps.
There's about 40 staff per shift, working 4, 8, and 12-hour shifts.
Not only are the length of shifts different, so are the nursing qualifications, and you have to have the right combination in each shift.
Nurses all have qualifications for different assignments in the department. And when you first work in an emergency department, you work in some of our less acute areas. Then you have more school and education, and then you get to work in our acute and resus area.
Now funding from a new competition called the AI for Better Health Catalyst Challenge is supporting the use of AI in creating the nursing schedules. The emergency department proposal was chosen from 60 entries last week, all suggesting how AI could improve their work, and the entries concerned everything from housekeeping to mental health.
With the AI tool, we can take what normally takes our managers 7 hours and condense it into a matter of minutes.
This is going to put us back at the bedside.
Roderick says saving time in scheduling means more time to spend with patients and supporting the ER staff to do their jobs more easily and safely.
I'm hoping the final product will be out within 6 to 8 months.
The hospital has been a leader in bringing AI into clinical use with more than 30 applications already. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
There won't be anything.
Just ahead, the classical sounds of strings with a modern twist. We catch up with the Toronto-based group Strings from Paris, back from the Junos, jamming with our Jess Smith.
Have you heard Strings from Paris? They're a Toronto-based musical group blending classical instruments and modern sounds.
CTV's Jessica Smith has more on the band, whose music was recently featured on the hit show Bridgerton.
Blending a modern sound.
We all love hip-hop and R&B and pop music, so, you know, just to be able to recreate some of our favorite songs.
With classical instruments.
I never thought I'd get to play
like viola in a string group and have people like jumping up and down, singing along. Like that's not something that you expect when you start out on your instrument.
Strings from Paris, a 5-piece band, met at the University of Toronto and have taken their love of music to a new level, covering some of music's greatest hits.
I really hope that people are inspired and that a lot of people rebuild or sort of recontextualize their relationship with classical music.
Even connecting with the hit show Bridgerton with their cover of Usher and Pitbull's DJ Got Us Falling in Love, landing in season 4.
I met Justin Camps, who is a music supervisor for Bridgerton there. He told me what he was working on, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got something for you.
My family, too, is like fans of the show. Like my mom and sister watch it, and they were hyped about it. So yeah, that being such a cultural phenomenon was like really cool to be a part of.
After a successful tour and a trip to the Junos, their reach continues to crescendo.
To be able to find success in this vein, I mean, I think it just goes to show how much the world wants it, how much people want it, and it's a dream come true.
With big plans for more covers and original music.
Moving forward, Strings from Paris plans to focus on music education and sharing their love for classical instruments and modern music with the younger generation. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. Yes, and as the astronauts are blasting off as we speak into space, the conditions down here on Earth, they're habitable.
Yeah, you know what? They're pretty good in Florida, and that allowed that rocket to launch. But here at home, yeah, a bit of a different story. We've got a lot of cloud cover out there. Here's a look at what's expected for tomorrow. A return of showers, and yes, a high of only 4 degrees. We're going to be pretty active over the next many days here, with even the slight risk of some freezing rain. This is a look at your Easter weekend forecast. Mild on Friday, still above seasonal for Saturday. Cooler Sunday, but getting back into some sunshine, and then it's sunny but cool into next week. Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. That's it for us, but join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a great night, and we leave you with some images of Artemis II on its way to the moon.